All right, take a look at some similarity in circles. All right, so biggest thing is first identify the initial. So this is the initial, and then this is the new one. How do I know that? Because the prime is always going to be with the new one. So the initial is going to have nothing. So this is the initial, this is the prime. So what happened from here to here? The circle has moved here, because the center you can see is over here, right? And it's gotten bigger, okay? So let's figure out how that moves. So first of all, let's figure out, how did the center move? It moved all the way here, and that's going to be, it went from -5 to that, so that's going to be 5 plus the 3 boxes. So it moved 8 to the right, and you say x plus 8, that means you're moving to the right, and then you're going to move up from -7 to 0, which is 7, plus the 1 over here, that's 8. So that's going to be y plus 8. And again, feel free to count the boxes. I don't have time for that, okay? So it moves 8 to the right and 8 up. So now my small circle is over here, looking something like that, right? Please forgive my beautiful circle. All right, now we're going to make it bigger. To see how big it is, let's see what it was before. So let's figure out what the radius is on this one. So it's 3. And the radius, remember, is from the center to any point. So you see if I did it horizontal, 3, doesn't matter, 3, it doesn't matter. Okay, the radius is 3. So the radius of this small circle is 3. What's the radius of this big circle? From the center to any point on the outside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the radius went from 3 to 6. What kind? Dilation is multiplication, right? So what did I multiply 3 by to get to 6? I multiplied it by 2. So I'm going to move this circle right 8 up, 8, and then multiply it by 2 to get this big circle, okay? And that's all similarity is. So you need to remember with similarity, it's everything, it just really includes a dilation. Similarity includes a dilation because everything else would remain congruent. If you didn't dilate it, you wouldn't change the size of the shape, then it would be congruent. But similarity always must include a dilation. All right, so how did I go from P to P prime? Again, this is my initial because it has no prime. So I'm going to move it right. So it's going to be x plus, and let's count how many. So it goes all the way there. So from -8 to 0 is 8, plus this one after 0. So that's 9. So I moved it 9 right. And then I'm going to move it up. So it's going to be y plus, because I'm moving it up. -6 to 0 is 6. And then 0 to 6 is another 6, so I move it up a total of 12. And you can feel free to count the boxes if you're not understanding what I'm doing. All right, so I moved it right 9, up 12, and then I make it bigger, right? Because it's small, and then it becomes big, which means it's going to be a whole number. So for that, you just need to find the radius, which is 2. And then my new radius is 4. So how do I get from 2 to 4 with dilation, which means multiplication? I'm going to multiply by 2. So my scale factor is 2. All right, how did I get from G to G prime? I'm making a movement to the right 2 boxes, so it's going to be x plus 2, and you can just count that. And then I'm going to go up, so it's going to be y plus, and what's that number? It goes from -7 to 0, so that's 7, and then 0 to 3 is 3, so 7 plus 3 is 10. And you can feel free to count those boxes, but ain't nobody got time for that. All right, once I move it, I make it bigger, right? So I start off with a radius of 2, and then I become a radius of, from 4 to 10 is 6. And I'm just subtracting those 2 numbers. But again, you can feel free to count if you don't understand what I'm doing. So how do I get by multiplication from 2 to 6? Multiply by 3. So my scale factor is 3. Okay, I'll do one more. I go from E to E prime, okay? So I'm going to, how do I get my center from here to here? I'm going to move it right, and that's going to be from -4 to 0, which is 4, and then from 0 to 4, which is another 4. So a total of 8 boxes, and you can count that. It's going to be 8 boxes, so it's going to be x plus 8 because I'm moving to the right 8, and then I'm going to move down. So I move from 3 to 0, so that's 3 boxes, and then from 0 to 5 to -5 is going to be 5 boxes. So adding those total, a total of 8 boxes down. So that's going to be y minus 8 because I want it to go down. Okay, once it's down here, I move the center here, I'm going to make the circle bigger. So the initial circle starts off with a radius of 2 and then ends up with a radius of 4. Now, dilation is multiplication. So how did I get from 2 to 4 by multiply? I multiplied it by 2. So my scale factor is 2.